Ta-da! We did it. Hello, class. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the studio. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've drawn together, so I hope you've been practicing because, as a matter of fact, we have, and we have the evidence to back it up. There are a couple books on the table over here. Excuse me if I look a little tired. It's actually past midnight, but any time is a good time for class. That's what I say. Or no, I don't really say anything. Isn't this a cute pencil? I kind of wanted to use it for the drawing today, but I actually prefer colored pencils, and the reason is because the graphite bleeds into other pages, it smudges, and colored pencils do not. So if you are a person who likes to draw, start with one color and then add other colors. Or just stick to one color, it doesn't matter. So Andrew Loomis is one of those authors who can communicate really valuable information in a really easy to understand way. I haven't gotten through the whole book, but basically, this guy, Mr. Blue, I think that's his name, um, teaches you that if you want to draw people, because that's what these videos have been about, like anatomy. I'm speaking as if you guys have like literally watched all of my videos because that's the way that I am. I was just checking to see if we're still recording. If you hit the space bar, it'll stop, and you'll have to start all over. So don't mind me if I keep checking all of the techie stuff, because I'm my one-man band over here. Ooh, look at that. That's a nice little... Get the mouse out of the way. I don't want that getting no clicky clicky. Alright, so these are some drawings that I did in the book, in my book. I don't think I did them all with you, but as you can see, it's a lot of the same thing. It's just balls with X's and skulls, and then when you get a little further, you learn the planes of the face. And my whole class is always gonna be about drawing people. It's always gonna be about drawing yourself and other stuff. There is a character who I've been practicing drawing. You'll see it pop up in my notebook, but this is strictly my anatomy binder. This is going way back. I love going through the books with you guys. We'll get to the drawing. Don't worry, I'll add a link. But I always we'll settle into it. There's no rush. So I don't know if you guys have seen me draw any of these. I kind of took a break from making videos so I could just draw on my own, because here's how it goes. I was practicing drawing just people or myself, and I noticed that I just wasn't getting any better, so I had to stop and practice the anatomy. But then after a while, I realized that I wasn't even learning the anatomy the right way. So that's why I got the Andrew Loomis books that teach you how to draw an actual head. And that's what you do. You start with a little crisscross. Wow, I really did a lot of practice of just the pulse. Alright, here we go. As you can see, ooh, that's where I left off, I guess. I drew all of the structure, scaffolding, and then I tried to draw myself, and it came out bad, but that's what that was. Yeah, because once we got this far, we learned all of the muscles. Yeah, see all of this work that we did? It's like, that's why books are fun if you make books, because this is all handmade, this is all personally. Look at this. I actually remember most of this material. Zygomatic bone, temporal arch, mandible, occipital bone, temporal bone, frontal bone, parietal bone, I think. I don't remember all of it, but I know maxilla. La 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 la. External auditory meatus or something. I don't know. Fun, fun, fun. Nasalis, root of the nose. Superciliary arch. Mandibula. I don't know, what was this? Glabella. Oh my goodness. Isn't anatomy fun? Um, Look at this. Yeah, you can see. I was trying to practice my own. I can't even draw my own face because, it was like the same thing every single day. I was trying to draw my face, and it's just the progress, it wasn't going fast enough, and I realized that in order to actually get better at drawing my own face, I had to take a break and practice drawing the skull and all of the other things. So anyways, let me get into the books. I'll put this down. We don't really need it anymore. We will get into the drawing, but this is the fun part. Yeah, that's what this book tells you. Um, you know, learn how to draw a circle, and then you divide it up. And if you watch videos of tutorials of people drawing characters online, that's pretty much always how you start with the head. And it has these really fun, simple exercises. So, in the back, it actually gets into more detail about how to draw a human, not just the cartoon version. But, yeah, this book, it's a little dated, but I love that about it because it's like before all of the new cheating ways, not cheating, but computers can really do a lot of this stuff for you. Um, it's like people used to know how to do math before calculators. So, drawing is it's an important way to communicate what's inside of you. It's more than just photographic representation. Look at this. They just go on and on. Isn't learning how to draw fun? I'm done with this book. Let's put you away now. Drawing on the right side of the brain, we've gone into this book in depth, in depth, in depth. Not really. We've barely gone through any of it, but if you want to know more, just ask. This is the sketchbook that I've been using. Ignore the paper towel. I just have that. I'll take the ring off. It's bothering me. This is my notebook. It's covered in crumbs, and it's bent on the spine over here, and it's scraped on the end because I've been taking it everywhere with me, and that means that I've started contact juggling. But that just means that I'm dropping it while walking on the cement on the sidewalk and stuff. But don't be afraid to scuff up your sketchbook. Sketchbooks, notebooks, journals, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty much the most important part, the whole aspect. It's the main feature of being an artist. And there's some quote, I don't know who did it, but an artist is just a sketchbook with a person attached. It's something like that. But the gist is, if you want to be an artist, keep a sketchbook with you because that's where it all happens, and then things get refined into bigger projects. But if you're not if you don't have access to this, having a space to put things creatively, scribble, scribble, scribble. This is the middle of my book, so I don't really. If it was another book, I would. In fact, that is a really good exercise that I recommend people to do. is to just maybe fill a couple pages with scribbles. But that's if you're feeling blocked, and I'm not feeling blocked right now. I'm actually really rearing to go. Ah, I'm going backwards. Yeah, this is my new space. This is where we're going, but just to go backwards. Notebooks, you can write stuff down that's inside of you. And this is the newest thing. I wasn't going to tell you till later, but yeah, I've been practicing drawing Mickey Mouse because he's kind of like one of the most well-known characters on Earth. So I thought I would really get him down. And there are a lot of tutorials of actual Disney artists who show you exactly how they draw step by step, and you can watch them. And with drawing, the rule is monkey see, monkey do, but also figure it on your own because it's very intuitive. But there are certain rules which art books will tell you. It takes the mystery out of learning. Drawing faces, whether it's a cartoon or an actual, you know, life figure, the rules are the same. It's just like building a house brick by brick. You gotta really do it. Do 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 do. I've got some ukuleles chords I was learning, but this is the process. Circle, and then you break it into a face, and then you get the skull. So that's as far as we got. That's what this book teaches you how to do. It's called Drawing the Head and Hands by Andrew Loomis, and it just shows you the wonderful world of drawing. Like, it's just so magical. Look at this guy. He's flying on a pencil, but it's a bird. Um, all of these faces, and they all start the same way. It's a circle with an X. They start out with men's heads, which I like, but the whole gist is if you can draw a skull, you can then squish it into any kind of shape, and the face will follow. Square skull means square face. Um, the only lines I've underlined in this book so far is that is is drawing a form of relaxation to you, helping to relieve tension and clear your mind of worries and other problems? My answer is yes. I've been very meditative the last couple of days, just through the process of drawing because I've been so focused on drawing. May I add one suggestion? Whatever your motive, try not to be impatient. I heard that and I was like, okay, that's it. I got it. So this shows you start with a ball, put a pin through it, and that's where it's like your axis, and then it teaches you how to divide it up and what all of it means and how to get there. Um, I avoided a lot of measuring and anatomical structures, and um, it's not boring. It's really exciting to learn all of this stuff because it really you, it's like learning a language. You think it's scary because how could you learn a language? That's like the hardest thing to do. But if you learn one word a day, it's like all of a sudden you can do it and you didn't realize that it was even possible. So anyways, we always get all inspirational. Um, but that's the exact thing. And I can skip around in the book, but that's really what it teaches you to do. After you get the ball and you divide it up, then you drop from you get a brow line, and a hairline, the nose line, the chin line, and it just teaches you how to do that. But this is the important part. That's what we're up to. That's literally what we're up to. We do this, and then we divide it up and we get there. From there, we want to add the skull. So that is where we're up to in our notebook. And then from there, you can drop this on top. And then from there, You'd think you'd want to get to this part next, but it's not. You actually... Where is it? Man, I had a bookmark. Here we go. The planes of the face. That's what you do right before you get to the actual features. So it's really important to know the bones underneath this. So that's why I also have my actual anatomy textbook. And we have drawn this skull together several times. And then after that, where is it? In the back. You know, I really thought... Here we go. I did have a bookmark. This is where we're going to go. The planes of the face. We want to be able to draw our own faces. And if we can get to this, then the rest is easy. Because if I put some eyebrows and a beard and a little squiggles for hair, that's my face. And it doesn't matter. You know, pretty much all men have the same skull. All women. Generally speaking, we all look almost exactly the same underneath the skin. So once you get that bones, then you add on the muscles, and then the features. It's like literally the last thing that you do. And it's funny because it's the first thing that people try to start with. So, you know, trees are made of roots, not just leaves. Icebergs are, majority of it is unseen. So that's just how drawing is. It's not magic. I mean, it is magic, but it's like like a 16-minute video, and the first couple of times I did this, I was pausing the whole time. So don't that drawing, and where is it? This drawing I just did today, but this drawing I did yesterday. Oh my god. I guess I did this yesterday because this is the 3rd and this is on the 2nd. Isn't that funny? But in the video, the guy talks about how if you want to do animation, you know, you got to be drawing the characters thousands of times. So after 5 or 6,000 times of drawing Mickey, you'll be good at it. And I'm like, okay, start the countdown. But I'm not starting from nothing. I have been drawing for quite a long time. Your black book can also serve as a book of shadows. This gets into magic and Wicca. But yeah, so let's get into the actual drawing part. So drink green tea, it's good for your health, and I need it for my energy. Don't you just love talking? I do, once you get me started. I don't even realize I just go on and on and on. So, I was using this pencil because it was like my favorite, Akuro Toga. It rotates the lead while you're drawing, so it always stays sharp. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use a colored pencil. Let's start with a yellowish, because that's how we did it over here. And then I'm going to build on orange, then I'm going to build on the red, then I'm going to build on... By the green is when I'm going to start doing the skull. And then on top of that, I'm going to put the blue, which is going to be the plates of the face. And then purple, I guess, will be the features. That's my plan. I want to go in accordance with the rainbow. Is that yellow too dark? I'm going to start with this yellow. So, let's switch these up again. Are you guys following along, or are you just watching because you want to see me draw? But I encourage you guys to really draw as well. Okay, so you start with a circle. Also, I'm holding my pencil like this because we want to draw with our shoulder. Even though it's a small notebook, this is what I'm really practicing. So, circle, circle, circle. You can barely see that, but that's what it's supposed to be like. And then it's divided. Do, 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 do. Wow, you can literally just trace it along on the book. And I can feel it building the muscle memory. How funny is that? So now, that's the first step. I'm going to do that again right next to it. Also, the more you do this, the faster you'll get. My first couple of times drawing circles were like footballs. Now, the reason why I did that again is because I want you guys to see the progression. And I also want to compound my own experience so that I can learn faster. So far I've 1, 2, 3. I've drawn this circle thing 3 times. Yellow, orange. Now we're going to do the same thing over here again. Isn't this fun? Starting from step 1. Circle, 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 dot, dot, dot. Now you have the cootie shot. I'm going to put a little dot. I don't know. No, do I need to do a dot? No, I don't need to. The way that I know how to split my thing up, I think it's the meridian line and the midline. This line, here, let's go a little further. Circle, circle, circle. I can hear my little puppy snoring. She's sitting right over there, sleeping like a little baby. Okay, so again, they don't have to be perfect. This is the midline, and this is the other line. The hell's it frickin' called? I should at least know the words if I'm like talking them to you guys. So, frickin' book. Fail. Middle line, brow line. Goodness. Middle line, brow line. Great, so now let's add in the red. Sharpening my pencil. I try to really be stingy with sharpening my pencils. Like, unless I need a fresh, sharp edge. But otherwise, I try not to. So, you know what? I think before I moved on to the red, I did this part in orange. So let's just... Wait. I guess... Let me think. Well, anyways, we dropped that down. 1. Hairline is... You want to divide it up into 3. Brow line, nose line, chin, hair. And then underneath that, it's the zygomatic bone. Putting in my orange for some reason. Oh goodness, I didn't even mention about how the head is split. It's like you cut the side off a ball. That's an important part when drawing. I'm just trying to copy this one over here in orange for some reason. I guess I'm trying to save color scheme. Starting over again at the beginning. Circle, split it up. I think the reason why I stop with the yellow so soon is because it's really hard to see. But with the other colors, I can extend it just a little bit longer in between steps. Otherwise, I'd literally be using all of the colors in my entire bin. Okay, I see I'm kind of starting to look at the book for reference less and less, because I know where they're gonna go, because I'm doing the same thing over and over. It's kind of like playing an instrument. Like, if you want to learn how to play Jingle Bells, you gotta play Jingle Bells over and over and over until every single note you can play with your eyes closed. Ugh, my nose is acting upon me. Feeling weird. Okay, so that's where we are. Now, the red is where I wanted to start really putting the skull features in. So, it's got a little pole that goes, oops, right over here. Boop, boop, boo, and then it drops down. And this is called the mandible, children. Or adults, I'm just kidding. But I have had an art class of children before, so I'm kind of just going off that. So this is nothing new, so I can just put it right in. Auto do 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 do. Oh, huh. Interesting. I think my underneath drawing was a little bit off, but as you get into it, you just start to notice what's off, and you just find a little better spot for it. And on this side, we kind of add in. I don't know if I did that the best, but let's keep it up. It's like the marathon of drawing. I want to have a thing called like the Psychic Olympics, and one of the categories is going to be drawing or painting or something. Ooh. Okay. Because it's kind of like a magical psychic talent. And then we add in the eyes. It's like the last thing for some reason, but oh well. Do. Can you see? Can you see what I'm doing? Can I see what I'm doing? So this is the zygomatic bone. And if you just define the edges of the zygomatic bone, then you pretty much also define the orbital, which is the eye socket, because the zygomatic bone's connected to the orbital, and the orbital's connected to the superciliary arch, and the superciliary arch is connected to the temporal line. And they're all located on the skull in your head. Yay, that was fun. So, the superior temporal line is connected to the zygomatic bone. See, that's why it doesn't really show that happening over here, but I want to draw on the book, but like, do, 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 do. If you could follow what I was doing with my pencil, which you probably couldn't, that probably might have made a little bit of sense, but I didn't have words. It was going too fast, so. That would be shaded a little bit, and then this guy's like smiling a little bit, so. Oh, I didn't even define the back of the head at all. But, that is basically how I get a skull. Oh, crud. Oh, wait, no. I guess that's where I was at. So that's my skull. And then now we're going to do this. We're going to do it again, everybody. This reminds me, when I was in track, we would do this thing called spirals, where we would run around the staircase, and then we would go up a flight of stairs and run around, and then, no, we would run up the stairs, then run around the floor, then we would go back in the stairs, run up the next floor, and run around the floor, and we would go up and down the building, doing corkscrews, and that's kind of what this feels like. Because if you want to get ready to run a marathon, you need to run like 10 marathons. So, in the spirit of that, we're going to do this again, but then we're going to lay on top of that green. Let's make it a little bigger. Because soon I'm going to be drawing my face, and it's going to take up the whole page. That'll be exciting. And then should have done that first, but doing it now. Do. Interesting. Should have done that all in orange, but oh well. Apparently, as you draw, your hand-eye coordination gets better. And your brain doesn't have to think as hard about how it's moving the pen or pencil. So it just takes less brain power to draw. And I like that. Again, it's back to an instrument. Like when you're learning the song, it's a struggle. You gotta like read all the notes, and you gotta figure out where your hands go, and the tempo, and all of the stuff at the same time. Oh my goodness, it's just so much. It's too much. You gotta break it down. Unless you're like one of those prodigies or something who can just pick it up and play it right away. But that kind of takes the fun out of it. You know, it's supposed to be a journey. You're supposed to like knitting is a slow thing. It's designed to be slow. And we live in a fast-paced world where slowing down could really help your mental health at the very least. So rather than just gung-ho draw the orbital, which is the eye socket. I'm actually focusing on drawing what is around it. So instead of drawing the bottom of the orbital, I'm actually drawing the top of the zygomatic bone. Instead of drawing the side of the orbital, I'm actually drawing the body of the temporal line. And instead of drawing the top of the orbital, I'm actually drawing the bottom of the superciliary arch. And instead of drawing the inside of the orbital, I'm actually drawing the outside of the glabella. And all of that made sense, anatomically speaking. So we've been that's kind of starting to feel like this is going to be my not field of research, but I want to be an art teacher, everybody. I went to Fiorello LaGuardia High School where I did learn how to draw, but the majority of my work is actually not from that because I didn't really keep a notebook, and if I did, I wasn't doing it right because I was too focused on the process instead of just doing it organically. I don't know. I was insecure. I should have just been drawn, but I was watching TV and other stupid stuff. What? Ba. Okay, that's a pretty good skull. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna skip the red. Can I do that? I think I am. I'm gonna skip the red this time. So I just want to go right to the green. Okay. If this is a good skull, if this book taught me how to draw a skull. So after that, I would be able to lay this foundation on top of it. And then from this foundation, what we want to do, God, I really got to get more bookmarks. This is ridiculous. We're going to do the planes of the face. Anyways. So, flippin'. Ugh. Now we're going to draw this skull. That's what we're doing. But we're overlaying it on top of the skull that we just drew. And if both books teach you how to draw the skull the same way, well, they don't teach you how to do it the same way, but in the end it should look the same because all skulls basically look exactly the same. So I'm going to sharpen my pencil just a little bit, just a little tiddly widdly. And I don't want to go crazy because I still want to have some like light paper for the planes of the head. But where do I want to start? I guess you start from the midline. That's what they tell you to do. So and I just remembered that there's like nothing to be afraid of because I literally just laid the framework. It's like you're just tracing the work that you just did, and I kind of worked hard to put everything in the right spot. Like, you know, we're doing it for a reason. I see that the nose, it's off a little bit. It's not off, but this one is turned more towards the midline, and this one's more turned like a 45, but it's heading towards a profile. Basically, straight down from, you know, you're constantly comparing where things are to each other in space. This is a little difficult because I'm looking at this image and then I'm rotating it a little bit in order to match up. See, like, you can't see this whole thing. This side of the jaw you can't see. So I guess I can't even really use this as a reference other than for simple that should be there. Outlining, I guess. do 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 do. Am I gonna draw on? Technically, I could draw all of the teeth in really quickly if I wanted to. 2, 3, 4. Not that I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes into 3. Yeah, and then another 3, but you can't really see them all. Boop 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 boop. Oops, I was supposed to have him smiling, and now I made him like grimacing. Urgh. Make that a little bit darker, but I don't want to go too dark because I know that in a second I'm going to go over it. Boop boo doo 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 doo. That's a nice, I mean, nicer looking skull. Ooh. Doesn't matter because we're just going to go over it right now. Eventually, I'm going to get better at getting to this point and only, you know, you want the underneath drawing to be pretty much like a ghost. And then really the only lines that you put in to communicate the most important information. So now I've got, this is Kingfisher blue, but I wanted blue. I think this is blue. Cobalt blue. Blue. Yeah. Even though there is a blue, there's still like 7 different kinds of blue. But at the same time, there is a bluest blue named Blue. Isn't that funny? So now let's skip ahead a little bit. This anatomy book is so great. It teaches you everything that you need to know about your insides. Wow, we learned all of this together. This is what I showed you in the beginning of the video in my notebook. This is the reference that I've been using. Draw from, get an anatomy textbook, and read it. You gotta actually read it. Because there's a lot of terminology that you gotta learn. Like if you want to draw a mouth, you need to know these muscles. So technically, I should do the muscles, then the planes of the face, but it's kind of like the same thing. I mean, I'm going to cut the video, but I guess eventually we will do them together. See, this one goes straight from the plane to the feature without drawing the muscles, but it's good to know where they are, so we're going to do both, but I guess not just today. Why can't I find the planes of the face? Oh my god. This whole video is just me flipping back and forth. I need to get some gosh darn bookmarks, everybody. So this is going to be a little... No, it's so funny how this one is like... It's got the side of the face again that the other one didn't. So it's like... The books don't even have the best relationship to each other, so you just gotta use them all. I guess I'll always start from the midline. I like to start with the glabella. Or the brow line, I guess we'll start with the brow line. It goes from one side of the head all the way to the superior temporal line, so... Hmm. I'm just gonna draw what I see today. I can't really do much else. I haven't really done this yet. Oops, that should be way smaller. Yeah, give yourself credit. If you're doing something and it's like something that you haven't practiced, it's okay if it's okay if you don't get it right the first time. Um, as a, I don't even know if I should call myself a perfectionist or a people pleaser. I don't know. What am I trying to say? Yeah, this would definitely be easier to do if I knew where all the muscles were, which I gotta practice. Do 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 do. Is that right? Does that look right? I mean, let's see. Can you tell I'm avoiding the eyes? I'll get to them. But I'm also not that worried. Let's see, so. Ooh, this has a really big side of the face. Am I going off script? Oh, draw, draw, draw. It's like a whole bunch of weirdo lines back here. I think I'm using parts of one reference and then a different part from another reference, and they're kind of conflicting my drawing or confusing my drawing. This comes out past the ear. Ugh, so tired. I'm gonna definitely pass out right after this, everybody. What fun, though. What a fun experience. Drawing is fun. Even if I'm just talking and talking, this was really about practicing the drawing, so. Eventually, I think I'll be able to get to this point without using the book. That would be nice. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, this is kind of working out. See, once you draw the planes in, then it's just like, oh, well, I'll just shade here, and I'll just shade this one in. And it's like, you're not really drawing lips, you're just drawing like, oh, and this triangle is darker than that triangle, which is lighter than this triangle, which is lighter than this triangle, which is the same color as this triangle. And I think we're just finishing up now. Let's see, under the lip, it's dark, then it's light, oops, yeah. Then it's dark again, and then darkness is the side of the neck and the chin. Okay, so what else is left to do? Clean up the edges and the lines. Make sure they're all the appropriate. I didn't even get this side of the forehead is still orange. There's no blue at all. Okay. So, what else? What else? I have gotten the experience that what's on video does not look the same as what's in the book. And if you're making a video, what's on video is more important than what. It's like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, the things that I'm drawing in my notebook need to look good on camera. So it's different than when I'm drawing in my notebook and I'm not making a video. I would probably, I mean, not to say that I would draw differently, but I don't know. It's important. Like when I had a gig, not a gig, but for a while I was drawing portraits every day, and I kind of wouldn't count them unless when I would upload them to Facebook, the facial recognition box would go on the drawing of the head, and that's some like next level shit because um it you take like a blank piece of paper and it's wood with some like waxy pigmenty thing, and then you put a couple lines on the paper, and then all of a sudden a camera thinks that there's a person sitting in front of it, and you can fool artificial intelligence that way. So if I'm ever gonna rob a bank, I'm gonna have to make sure that the mask I use is a really good one. I don't know. What was I just talking about? I must be getting really tired. I can always look back in the video to see what the fuck I was talking about. So, really tempted. That actually looks pretty good. There's some spots that, um, if I were to darken, ooh, goodness. I hate when I open my pencil sharpener and it doesn't open the right way and it spills shavings all over the place. Let's see. Like that can all be darker. This can all. It's a shame that we kind of just took all the energy, the time to draw all the teeth and all of that stuff, and you just draw right over it like it never even existed. But it did. It did exist. It's still there, everybody. Underneath. Just like the Rebecca Sugar song. I'm gonna start singing once I remember the lyrics. Turn it over. The other side. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to look up the YouTube video. I'm gonna have to go to bed. So, I'm so tempted to just draw my face on top of this. But I can't because this is such a good... I don't want to ruin this. I'll draw myself. Oh my god. It's like 1:30 right now. I'm going to stop here because that is the progression. The next one would be this, but with my features on it. I just have to... oh my goodness. There's so many shitty layers. I don't even know if I would be able to see myself if I did this. I'm gonna do it anyway, everybody. Ugh. No, I can't. That's skipping a step. I need to do all of this again in order to put my features on it, so I can't. For the same reason that I didn't put my features on this one, and for the same reasons I didn't put my features on this one, or this one, I gotta do the corkscrew, and that would be skipping a floor. And I don't have the energy to do all of this again. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've done like 10 layers and it's all practicing the same thing. Where it's like by the time I can actually draw my face and have it look like my face, I will have been drawing like just the same thing with Mickey, like 5 or 6 thousand layers. So eventually, I think I will be able to make an animation of actual just like, not to just close my book really quickly, but um, I'm kind of done with this, so I'm going to put it away. Going back into this book over here, um, this is what we did today, the planes, and then it divides up into further planes, which is the lips and stuff, which I practiced today, but that was newish for me. And then you can break it down even further, you know, bomb, bomb, bomb. This is kind of where we're at. And this is what I was doing. We got up to here today. I'll do this next. Oh, this is front on. Huh. But it's the same thing. It would be this, but like 3/4. Other than that, it teaches you perspective for the head. It's just like the same as a building. You need perspective. Another thing that I didn't do today, other than the actual units, I think I might have to do this before the planes of the face, because you draw the skull, then the muscles, then the planes of the face are the muscles, you know, and then the features are the paint, just what's on top. But you guys get what I was saying earlier about it being like an iceberg? Because in order to get to this point, I have to do the circle with the X, then I would, drop down until I had the proportions right, then I would make it into a skull, then I would add the muscles on, then I would add on the planes of the face, then the features. And you do that every time you want to draw a portrait. But it'll be fun and enjoyable every time. So the reason why this is important is because facial expressions, like, that's my frontalis muscle. And I forget this is orbicular oralis is like your eye muscles. This is orbicular ocularis. I might have, fuck it. I'm too tired. But like the mouth isn't a flat plane, it's curved. Same thing with the eyeballs. They're not flat, they're curved. So before I even do my features, I gotta practice this. So I'm probably gonna practice this a couple times on my own, and then we'll do it again together, just like I've been doing. But look at this, people just do this with a pencil. Isn't that just the most amazing thing? And you can do it with cartoons. Okay, so once you have the planes of the face, then you shade it in and you add the features. So it's like there are no surprises. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together. All of the pieces should fit. You're not supposed to have a puzzle where you're like cutting the edges in order to make them stick together. It's like, no, you want that nice feeling of like them settling into place and fitting together. They're supposed to fit together, not jumbly. This page, it says it's the most important, but that's kind of where we're almost up to next. No, this is what we should be doing before the planes of the face. Um, so even the yeah, we do the bones. This is the bones with the muscles. After that, we get the planes of the face. Do with the features, and then you refine it, and you get a real face. But this face is the same thing as that, which is the same thing as the skull. So if you can draw a skull, you can draw this. Just like, if you learn the alphabet, you can write a book about anything you want. So in the same way, if you learn the fundamentals of drawing a face, you can draw any face. So that's really exciting because I was at a meeting today and I was listening to people talk, and there was like 20, 30 people, and all of a sudden I saw in my mind all of their skulls at the same time. It was like 30 skulls. And I was like, oh wow, all of your skulls look basically exactly the same. So if I were to draw all of you, I would start with the same skull, but then I would build it off differently. So um, I guess if I feel like, I'm practicing drawing a generic face in this book, but by the time I can successfully draw a generic face, then you can modify it and draw anything you want, including cartoon characters. So, um, me getting to this part really, it's the same as this. This is not the best drawing of Tinkerbell, but it's the same thing. The Disney creators like circle X. This is where it goes. I'll get further into you know, there's an eye length in between your eyes. There's like 5 eyes across your head, and you got to know that there's thirds and quarters and eighths and all of these. Like, oh my God, why am I doing math? I thought this was drawing, but if you get the proportions right, then the features you just it's like laying bed sheets on top of a bed. You don't have to worry about the bed sheets just floating in the air. It's like, no, the whole point is the bed. So anyways, I really want to draw this. As much as I want to draw like, an official head in a figure drawing class, I want to have like my friends over and we can all draw each other and get naked, and that'll be funny. But before I get to that point, I can draw cartoons because you really just need the ball with the X, and from then on, it's like you're done. Everything else, I'm not drawing Mickey's skull and all of that. I just draw it in because it's a cartoon made of lines. But it's not that much different. And, it's really the same. And the only reason I brought this up again is because I'm practicing drawing this exact image over and over so that I can draw it on the sidewalk and impress the people that I was just telling you about. Um, and I did a really, really good one today. I did one yesterday on the sidewalk, and it came out like, and I looked up some like tips on how to really work on the sidewalk with chalk, and then I did another one today, and it came out like much better. Again, not perfect, but it came out much better, and I would show it to you, but I'm using my phone to record this. Anyways, this is an hour-long video, and that's really how long our classes usually are, so I'm going to cut us off there. This is what we did today, and we did a lot of talking, so I'll put a link in, but you finished the video. You don't need the link. You already watched me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me grow, and I want to help you guys grow because this is a class we're working together, we're learning, we're growing together. Um, Apparently, to make Fantasia, it took hundreds of artists, thousands of hours. Um, so I want to make an animation, and I want other artists to work with. So I'm sure there's a lot of you out there, but um, we can always use some more. Drawing, again, it's a very meditative process. It's healing. This helped me not to get into it, but like this is a better activity than getting wasted on alcohol and passing out. You know, when I drink, I can't draw at all. And I've had bouts in my life where I was drinking. I'm in AA right now. I'm telling you guys, I've talked about it before. It's a part of my life. I go every single day, and I listen to people talk. And I'm going to start bringing my sketchbook because now that I can get this far without really thinking too hard about it, I'm going to start practicing actually laying features on it. But you know, when you have a sketchbook, people are going to want to look at it. So make sure, you know, that you have something that you're semi proud of. Like, I know this is just skulls and I'm learning ukulele. I've got a lot of ideas of how to work in my garden, and here's some circle rituals and, you know, the Mickeys. But yeah, people want to see the progress that you do. You know, some life drawing. I wasn't trying very hard. Um, Anything else? The stuff in the beginning here isn't really good, but here's Big Bird. I couldn't even remember his name. My brain is so shut down. And this is Mr. Blue. It's the other cartoon, but it's the same thing. Um, Cartoon heads are really fun, and after a while, you learn how to draw any cartoon head in any way. Um, Yeah, because all in all, I see a lot of people drawing, but I feel like they're going about it the hard way. And um, a lot of the thing about drawing is it's a holistic thing. You need to be able to see the big picture, the whole thing at once. You can't work like bit by bit, and I see a lot of people working it out like very bit by bit, like very wrists, and I'm more of a just do it, you know. If I'm drawing on the sidewalk, I'm not using a grid. I'm not measuring it out. Like, I'm drawing it for what it is. You know, people use projectors and they trace and stuff, but I want to really refine the skill of like picking up a pencil, looking at a person, and sketching and doing it, you know? I don't want to use any tricks. And it turns out that the real trick is knowing the anatomy, knowing the proportions, and putting in the work. Um, so, anyways, it says here every head is a separate problem. Um, blah, 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 blah. Don't be tempted to trace, just draw. That's really funny. Start drawing real people and collect clippings and photographs to practice from. So, that's what I'll be doing. You know, ears, lips, I'll be doing it in pieces and putting it together, filling a whole notebook. Um, and it says, most important part, everybody, have patience and practice. If I want to learn how to run a mile, I got to start by running to the end of the block and add a little bit each day. So, I missed slam poetry because we went over time, and On a good day, I would keep going, but I need to go to sleep, and then I can just wake up and start this early again in the morning. I'll maybe do some ukulele with you guys, but again, thanks for coming to class, and I love hearing from y'all, and give me some comments, questions, show me your work. I don't think I'm even going to post this anywhere. This video is going on YouTube, and that's it. It's going to exist only for the people who go deep into the archives, and also the artificial intelligent robots who are going to copy the behaviors of the humans that they study on the internet, like useless footage just like this. And me to watch on my deathbed, and all the people to watch after I'm gone. Not to be morbid, I'm just kidding. Drawing makes for a good life, so. Ooh, happy September 4th, everybody. Maybe we'll have 2 videos today. Technically, this is nighttime, but it's really early morning. Anyways, love you guys. Bye.